up, everybody? Master Dark Boy Gaming, Dark Boy here, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going downtown. I think this is probably one of my favorite courses because it feeds into the whole I like playing with glow discs, and I can't do that where I live because my course is way too difficult. Anyway, this first hole here, there's a Mando there. You got to throw to the right. This can be done many different ways, different discs, different lies. I like to throw on top of the hill because if I then pick a good 10 or 12 speed disc, I could potentially park it right by the basket. Now that didn't happen this time. I hit the trees and the collision slowed me down enough to put me in the water. But the shot here is totally makeable, as you see, for par, unfortunately. But it's a super easy thing to do to go right in that water. On this hole, just aim down a little bit, grab a good 9 or 10 speed disc, throw it. You should land anywhere on this little hillside as long as you don't clip a light post or a tree. And the two should be really easy. Now I had a stroke of bad luck with that skip there, but usually you'll land right up on this hillside, and it's a pretty easy hole. Yeah, you are throwing uphill, so when you're putting here, it's important to remember that if you're not directly on the top hillside here, that you got to compensate for that up. So on this hole, you could throw forehand, and you could crash right by the basket. You could throw backhand, same thing, you can crash right by the basket. But in my experiences, either way, it's pretty easy to clip a tree, light post, branches, whatever, and it'll mess you up. So I recommend doing some field work on this one just to get used to putting from all different angles on this hole. If you're putting from the hill, it can be quite hard because the downhill drop is pretty big. If you're putting from anywhere down here, you should be making it, even though I missed. It's a relatively easy hole, but also easy to mess up. So, biggest thing about this hole is do not throw anything that's going to land left. It is very easy to throw in the lake, so you definitely don't want that. Losing a stroke on this hole can be super bad. There's many different ways you can approach throwing across this little road, but it is important to remember that the curb, it's like a magnet. In my experiences, the disc just gets sucked into it and bounces back into OB. So you want to make sure that you're throwing enough to clear the curb, but you don't want to overthrow enough to where you're shooting way far back behind the basket. It's very easy to mess this hole up. So the road is OB, can't go too far left. If you go too far right, that fence and the Ferris wheel can totally mess you up. It's very easy. There's a tree directly to the left of the fence when you're on the tee. If you aim at that tree, I find that typically it's pretty safe if you're throwing forehand. There is a Mando right here. We just passed it. You have to make sure you go around that Mando, or else you'll lose a stroke. And then when you're over here, even though it looks daunting like you won't make it, you can easily throw over the lake. If you do that, you can have a decent look at your approach. Again, throwing uphill. So you want to make sure that you're either giving it a little extra power or you're lifting the putt. And you're going to find yourself losing a stroke. So be safe there.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexander, and you are watching Master Dark Boy Gaming.
Like and subscribe. On this hole, it's kind of crazy because you want to throw so that you're not hitting that fence up here to the left. But if you do throw and hit the fence and you have a water skip disc that is 12 speed or higher, you can clear the lake with a water skip and land right up against the basket. If you don't have that and you're early game, you want to come around this thing just like you saw there, because when you're on the other side of these trees, the approach shot is very easy, very open. In my opinion, if you find yourself in this position, in practice, throw this throw a bunch of times. Just get used to it in so many ways with different discs, because in my experiences, a lot of people mess up trying to go for things on this hole that they probably aren't ready for yet, myself included. So if you play it the smart way, chances are they'll mess up in multiplayer, give you a chance to take the victory. In my opinion, this is one of the hardest holes in the entire game. I hate this hole. I love playing it, but I hate it. It does not matter what I throw. I've tried throwing everything up to an 8 speed, and they just never make it across. And I've tried throwing everything from 9 and up, and I've just overshot it a million times. Well, you saw there was a 10. It was a musket with a water skip. But that can be a dangerous play because those water skips work well, but when you're throwing it and it skips in the water near the land, I've seen it, just go straight in the water. This hole isn't the most difficult, but it is easy to throw right into OB on this little lane here. In my experiences, you don't want to try to go for it all the way to the other side of the road because you'll probably land an OB. If you can get it anywhere near the sidewalk here without going OB, you're setting yourself up for a great 2 approach. If you throw correctly, you could land right by the basket for an easy putt. If not, this is another spot here. If you find yourself anywhere in this distance on this hole, I would take the extra time to practice the putts because it can save you a stroke when other people might be throwing OB. See, if I had been practicing that shot better, I would have made it. But yeah, definitely worth the time because I find a lot of people mess up on that hole. I love playing this hole. It's super fun to me. I love the drop. It's great practice. It really helps you discover your disc's potentials on the big drops, on the big drop shots. And again, this is also a great practice spot. 40 plus meters, throwing into a different level basket height. That's raised. The raised baskets are always hard. But yeah, great hole, fun to play, great practice. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Master Dark Poi Gaming. I am Dark Poi. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. And hopefully, I'll see you in the future.